Imagine stepping into a steel cage surrounded by a roaring crowd, your heart racing with anticipation. Every muscle in your body is on edge as you face off with someone whose only goal is to outfight you. You're both prepared to endure pain, sweat, and exhaustion. This isn't a movie scene, this is UFC. But here's the question that lingers for many. Is UFC a real sport, or is it just an entertainment show designed to captivate audiences? For years, UFC has been at the center of debates. Some people view it as the pinnacle of combat sports, a true test of human strength, skill, and willpower. Others see it as little more than a staged spectacle, a high-octane, choreographed performance that's all about selling tickets. So, where's the truth? Is UFC all about real fights, or is it a carefully crafted show designed to keep us on the edge of our seats? Let's take a closer look and uncover the truth behind this adrenaline-fueled sport. The real fighters behind the scenes. One thing is undeniable, the athletes in UFC are not actors. These fighters are real athletes who put their bodies through grueling training regimens to prepare for competition. UFC fighters train in multiple disciplines, including boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, wrestling, and more. They spend hours in the gym each day in perfecting their technique, conditioning their bodies, and honing their mental toughness. The level of dedication and skill required to step into the UFC octagon is extraordinary. These fighters face immense pressure and physical demands. Injuries are common, and the risk of long-term damage to their bodies is high. It's not uncommon for fighters to walk into a fight with injuries that would sideline someone in another sport. They don't just rely on talent. They depend on years of hard work, sacrifice, and an unwavering commitment to being the best. This level of dedication is a hallmark of any real sport. Is there a script, or is it all real? Despite the intense physicality and skill involved, UFC is often compared to professional wrestling. After all, both sports involve scripted outcomes to some extent. However, there's a big difference when it comes to UFC. The fights are not scripted. The only thing staged in UFC is the spectacle itself, the entrances, the hype, the trash talk. But when the cage door closes, it's all about survival. Every fight is a genuine contest. The fighters don't know how it will end. The outcome is decided by their skill, strategy, and physical endurance. While there may be a storyline or a build-up to a fight, once the bell rings, it's all about raw competition. That being said, UFC knows how to play the entertainment game. They've mastered the art of creating hype, building rivalries, and making sure fans are emotionally invested in the fighters and the outcomes. UFC has a knack for turning fighters into larger-than-life personalities, and the build-up to the big fights can sometimes feel as intense as the fight itself. But don't let that fool you into thinking the action inside the cage is anything less than real. The fans. The heartbeat of UFC. Another factor that sets UFC apart from purely scripted entertainment is its passionate fan base. UFC fans are incredibly dedicated. They don't just watch the fights, they live and breathe them. They analyze every move, every punch, every takedown. They debate and argue about strategies, fighters, and potential matchups. For them, UFC is more than just a spectacle, it's a lifestyle. Fans know that the outcome of the fights can be unpredictable. That's what keeps them coming back for more. A fight can end in the blink of an eye, and the excitement of not knowing what's going to happen next is a huge part of what makes UFC thrilling. This uncertainty, along with the raw emotion of the fighters and the intensity of the competition, is what keeps UFC feeling like a genuine sport rather than a scripted show. The role of promotions and the business side of UFC. Like any major sport, UFC is also a business, and promoting the fights is a key part of the equation. Fighters trash talk to build hype. Rivalries are stoked to increase viewership. The UFC itself promotes fighters, sometimes creating superstars out of individuals who might otherwise have remained relatively unknown. This is not unique to UFC. Every major sport has its marketing machine that builds up players and events to maximize revenue. But while the promotion side of UFC is certainly built around entertainment and spectacle, it doesn't change the fact that the fights are real. When two fighters step into the cage, there are no retakes, no do-overs. The fight is real, the risk is real, the pain is real, and ultimately, the glory is real too. Conclusion: real sport, real thrills. So is UFC a real sport or just entertainment? The answer lies somewhere in the middle. UFC is undoubtedly a highly produced, entertainment-driven business with carefully crafted storylines and promotional tactics. Imagine stepping into a steel cage